The American Farm Bureau Federation held its 101st annual convention in Austin, Texas. MFB's young farmers excelled in national competitions. And for the third year in a row, President Donald Trump addressed Farm Bureau convention-goers.
So I'm truly honored to be addressing the Farm Bureau's annual convention for my third straight year. My administration understands that if we want to stand up for America, we must stand up for American farmers. So important. Incredible people.
I'm Janelle Brose, and this is Farm News 5.
Farm News 5 is brought to you by Ford.
A delegation comprised of farmers and ranchers voted this week on policies to guide American Farm Bureau Federation's work in 2020. One of the trade policies adopted came from Michigan Farm Bureau and impacts specialty crop growers who face challenges because of trade regulations.
So this language is vitally important to protect the specialty crop growers all across Michigan. As everybody knows, Michigan's the second most diverse state in our country, and it's super important that Michigan protects those specialty growers. This gives us a chance, under the current language that we're proposing, that if we could get this implemented into law, that it would help specialty crop growers if we ever did come across an adverse trade piece similar to what tart cherries and asparagus are seeing at this moment.
Other policies focused on labor and climate change. A lot of attention was also paid to the dairy industry, where AFBF delegates voted to support creation of a flexible farmer and industry-led milk management system.
It is really important that you as a dairy farmer are involved in the Michigan Farm Bureau Dairy Advisory Committee. We look to our members to provide input and feedback on the changes that would be made nationwide and what affects our actual producers here in Michigan. And so we met probably 4 times throughout the past year talking about dairy policy. We had 2 specific meetings talking about the working group that worked on those federal milk marketing order changes, pricing. It's so complicated, it's very difficult for everyone to understand, even the dairy farmers. But we brought in some people that actually went through those issues with us one by one. We talked about it as a group and came to a consensus on what we wanted to agree upon and what we did not want to agree upon. So all in all, it was a great way for our Michigan producers to be involved and get their voice heard.
Michigan's very fortunate to have a number or a majority of their issues be adopted as policy in the American Farm Bureau process. It's a testimonial to effort that takes place in Michigan from the counties all the way up through the state level to have policies that are direct, clear, and very understandable. So when that happens, we have a very good opportunity to get those in the AFBF policy book.
If you want a car from a company that's been building them for 115 years, get a Ford. If you want a car with driver assist technology, get a Ford. You're gonna want a Ford.
For the third year in a row, President Donald Trump addressed Farm Bureau members during AFBF's annual convention. This time around, he talked trade, touting the recent signed trade agreement with China and congressional approval of the United States-Canada-Mexico Agreement, or USMCA.
The deal with China will tear down market barriers and pry open vast new markets for American beef, pork, poultry, seafood, soybeans, rice, dairy, infant formula, animal feed, biotechnology, and much, much more. This is an incredible success for our entire country, and it was your fortitude, your perseverance, and your devotion that made it all possible. Under the USMCA, Canada will finally provide greater access for American dairy. You know, Canada was charging us 287% tariffs. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew that. I knew it. So you basically couldn't even deal with Canada. But those days are gone. Our dairy exports are set to increase by more than $300 million per year. Poultry exports to Canada could jump by nearly 50%.
Trump also announced that the third installment of Market Facilitation Program payments will soon be released by USDA.
To defend our farmers, I authorized $28 billion. And we're getting that money, Sonny, to the small farmers also. There were some statements, big farmers, no. We get them to the small farmers, we get them to everybody. Big farmers, small farmers, and we have a formula that I think has been working out, Sonny, very well. If it's not, call me directly, and I'll call Sonny and give him hell, okay? But we're getting into the small farmers, the big farmers, and everybody, and it's a lot of money. And I am delighted to report that the final installment of all of those billions of dollars of that money will be coming very quickly, Sonny, I guess. Is that a correct statement? Yes? Thanks.
Start the new decade on solid ground. Foster Swift's Ag Law Group offers comprehensive legal services for producers and agribusinesses. Learn more at fosterswift.com.
Several Michigan Farm Bureau young farmers had great showings at the American Farm Bureau Federation's annual convention in Austin, Texas.
Our third place finalist is Richard Baker from Michigan.
Rich Baker of St. Joseph County took third in the Young Farmers and Ranchers Achievement Award.
The award category itself is based on young farmers' performance, his application that he filled out, all on growth, community support, leadership, and goals.
Second place runner-up is Joseph Ankley, Michigan.
Joe Ankley of Lapeer County was the runner-up in the Excellence in Agriculture competition.
And one of the biggest benefits I see of Farm Bureau membership is the opportunity to network. Part of the Excellence in Ag is meeting people that were also representatives from their states. So I got to meet some great people from Louisiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, Utah, just all over the country that are doing awesome things, and got to pick their mind on a few different things that they were doing. And that's great. That's all stuff that I'll be able to take back home to Michigan.
You can actually impact agriculture and work within agriculture, but you don't necessarily have to work on a farm.
And Cora Akama of Mecosta County made it to the Young Farmer Discussion Meets Sweet 16.
It is my first year competing in the discussion meet total, state and national, and I am just amazed at the Michigan Farm Bureau team, how well that they've supported me and prepped me and trained me for this event, but also everybody back home as well. And I have a lot of friends nationwide that are just rooting for me and encourage me to keep trying and keep my head up and just do the best that I can and be proud of the fact that this is my first year and I've made it to nationals and into the Sweet 16 round.
The case against the owners of the former Stamp Farms in Decatur is far from closed after a federal judge threw out a plea deal because the sentence wasn't tough enough. Mike and Melissa Stamp are facing charges related to crop insurance fraud, bank fraud, and bankruptcy fraud. Both were due to be sentenced Wednesday, but a judge rejected their plea deals. He was due to serve 5 years in prison while she was looking at as much as 3 years behind bars. Attorneys for both sides are due to meet with the judge at the end of the month to determine next steps, which could include going to trial. For more news and video, visit MichiganFarmNews.com and the Michigan Farm Bureau channel on YouTube. With Farm News 5, I'm Janelle Gross. Have a great week of farming.